Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm gonna give it a couple of, maybe about 30 seconds to wait for folks to get in here. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the idea that foreigners are displacing Mexicans here in Mexico. Now, I think that's a crazy idea. I don't think that's happening at all. There may be some cases where foreigners may have had some influence, but foreigners are not displacing Mexicans at all. And I'll tell you why real quick. But before I do that, I want to show you this nice view I have here. Right, you see that? Nice view of the city here in Puebla. Get back over there. Move over a bit. Yeah, so I think this is a really important topic. The reason why is a lot of foreigners have this idea that they come to Mexico and they are the center of the world, which is not the case at all. I mean, you have folks coming here and they realize that, hey, living in Mexico is a lot cheaper, right? I could save some money. So they'll come here and they'll find some decent living spaces for a fraction of the price of what they would pay in their home country in the US or in Canada or wherever they come from. So yeah, you can do that, but you're not displacing anyone, because I'll tell you what, if they're coming here and you're going to stay in a high rise like this, whether you are foreign or whether you are Mexican, you're going to pay the same. So you're not displacing anyone here. People act like foreigners act like when they come here, they're the center of the world, and also that there are no Mexicans here with money. There are Mexicans in Mexico with money, right? A lot of money, especially where I live at in this zone. And you can tell, I'll show you around, you can tell this area is an area where folks have money. So if you're coming here and you see a neighborhood that you like, that neighborhood is going to have a price tag. So whether you're foreign or whether you're Mexican, you're going to pay that price tag. Now let me go ahead and add the comments. I don't see any comments yet. All right. Give me a sec. I don't see the comments. There we go. Greetings from Texas. Eggs. What's going on? What's going on? What's your name? So I'm Profe Gallo, and in this channel, I'll talk about the living abroad. Right? I'll give you a brief background before I go back to the topic on myself. I was born and raised in the United States. After college, I lived in Peru for a couple of years. After Peru, I came back to the States. And I joined the military. After the military, I moved to Dominican Republic. And then from Dominican Republic, I moved to Mexico. So I've been living in Mexico for a year and a half. And in this video, the topic is foreigners displacing Mexicans here in Mexico. Now, that is not the truth whatsoever. And here in Mexico, you actually get to see everything. Right? You get to see all of that. So, for example, there are plenty of Mexicans here with money. So there's no way that foreigners are going to come in and displace them. Because, for example, in this zone is a pretty nice zone. It's called Angelopolis, right? Angelopolis is what this zone is called here in Puebla, Mexico. And this is an upscale zone, right? A very upscale zone. So if you were to move here, you are going to pay to live here, right? And I know that folks have the idea when they come to Mexico, you're going to pay the fraction of the price for the same type of property you have in your home country. Well, when you're talking about the United States or Canada or maybe England, yeah, of course, that is true, but you're still going to pay. So when you move into these neighborhoods here in Mexico, you are going to have an idea of you'll have an idea of what that level that you're going to pay. And some of these zones, people who are middle class, they may not, you may end up paying a certain amount to live in that zone. But if more foreigners move to that zone, the price will not necessarily change. Now you're going to have some landlords here and there. They'll see that, oh, this person is a foreigner. Let me take advantage of this person. Let me charge, instead of charging $500 a month, let me charge $600 a month. That would happen. But that is no way a displacement of Mexicans here in Mexico. Now, you do have some places where it's pretty expensive to live. One, because it's safe. One, because the buildings are modern. And others because they're sought after places to live. And they're not just sought after places to live for foreigners, but they're also sought after places to live for Mexicans. Now, you'll have a neighborhood that you may see, oh, wow, this neighborhood there's a lot of foreigners in this neighborhood. You will have that, but you will have the same neighborhood next door that's still nice where you'll have all Mexicans or mostly Mexicans and less foreigners. But the price range is the same to buy a house or to rent an apartment. It's the same. So I think that us foreigners, we need to get rid of the idea that, we're that important and that, we're bringing so much money to a country where all reality is just a fraction of what's being brought from foreigners to Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of money here in Mexico, a lot of money. And I think we need to get rid of that idea. And there is this saying, especially when you look at Mexico City, certain parts of Mexico City, that Condesa, Roma, Polanco area, especially more so in Condesa and Roma, you'll have people say, hey, gringo, go home, or, they're driving up the prices. And honestly, that's not the case. It's just that it's a hot spot, and you have a lot of foreigners who are attracted to that hot spot, and you have less Mexicans now who are attracted to that hot spot. But there's no displacement, because if a Mexican family does not want to live in this zone, they will move to an equally expensive zone, right, of that same caliber. So yeah, it's not really happening. What do you all think? I mean, I don't see anyone in here talking about the greetings from Texas. John Rojas, what's going on, John Rojas? You have any questions? Shaikh Ali, any questions? Any questions about the topic? Yeah, so I think I think people just need to slow down and really assess what's going on here in different places here in Mexico. I can tell you, like here in my building, yeah, you see a lot of foreigners in this building. That's true. You see a lot of foreigners in this building, but in all reality, Mexicans are not being displaced just because you have a couple of foreign families or foreign folks coming in, not being displaced whatsoever. The prices are not being driven up because it is a sought after place for foreigners. Not the case. It's just bringing a new vibe to it. When you have an influx of foreigners like what you see in Roma and Condesa and Mexico City, the prices are being driven up not because foreigners are paying more. It's being driven up because a lot of folks are moving there. There's a lot of demand, and when there's a lot of demand, prices can go up. I mean, that's just the way it works, right? Any questions on that? Anybody? I don't have anyone on here asking any questions. Kale, eggs. What the hell's going on? What is going on? But that's it. I really wanted to talk about that issue here in Mexico. Apart from that, Mexico was a really, really nice place to live. And recently, the dollar has gotten a lot stronger. So your U.S. dollar is going much further here in Mexico than before. I think when I was looking at moving here, the ratio was about 20 pesos to a dollar. Then when I got here, it was about 17, and I've seen as low as maybe like 15 pesos to a dollar. Now it's close to 21 pesos to a dollar, right? So the dollar is stronger, and your money's going a lot further here. And Mexico is cool. Mexico is cool. I mean, it may not be everyone's speed, but Mexico is cool. And one thing I noticed today when I woke up this morning was how beautiful the weather is here. Because, central Mexico is not known to get very hot, but at the same time, it's not known to get very cold. And you can actually find that in the summers can be very hot, but you also have days where it's really cool. You're talking about, you can have days in the summer where it doesn't get beyond, 75. But the other cool side to that is in the wintertime here, it gets cold, but you still have your warm days to where it gets about, a high of 75, a low of 55, low of 60. And it's nice. It's nice. Definitely a nice spot to come to here in central Mexico when you want to get away from that cold weather, in the US or in Europe or Canada or wherever you come from. It's really nice. And it's sunny for the most part here. So being able to see that sun is really dope. Really dope. The only thing is here, the mosquitoes can be annoying. And even in this semi-dry climate here, the climate here in central Mexico reminds me of like LA, right? It reminds me of Los Angeles, to where in the summer it may not get extremely hot, but during the winter it could be quite temperate, cool and warm at the same time. So that's what you'll find here. But the mosquitoes can be a problem here. I'll tell you that. That's the truth. Any questions, anyone, about Mexico or about, living abroad, or do any of you have plans on moving abroad, moving to Mexico, maybe moving to another country like other part of the region or Europe or Asia? Any questions about other countries? Si ustedes no hablan inglés, si ustedes tienen preguntas en español. Any questions, comments, anything? But that's it. I just want to touch on that issue because I see a lot of folks on YouTube and on different social platforms talking about, foreigners displacing Mexicans and here in Mexico, and not the case whatsoever. Not the case. Not the case. Before I sign off, any questions, comments, anything at all? All right, well, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.